Okay, before I start, I want to give a quick update. So last week I had a major coronavirus scare, and me and my family were basically in quarantine until Friday, when we found out that it was a false alarm. But it caused a lot of stress, and in addition, my internet went out. Hashem has a sense of humor, so we were all quarantined, and the internet went out. And Verizon would not come and repair it because somebody in the home might have been exposed to coronavirus. It was quite the hassle. In the end, Baruch Hashem, everything worked out, and we are back. Bez Hashem, I will be back to one a day. So just a quick update. uh, just so very, very quickly, if you haven't listened to my previous videos, you really should. And Bez Hashem, today we're going to get into at least, I think that this might be one part, but I want to keep these videos short, so I might just stretch to two, to really now focus on what. Let's get to the bottom line. What does it mean that mi שבטח bezulas Hashem? What do these words mean? Mi שבטח bezulas Hashem, ha'elokim meser elokim hashkachasam chovos meniach biyad mi שבטח. That Hashem mi שבטח cholov. Hashem, if you choose to trust in not Hashem, then Hashem will remove his hashgacha from you and leave you in the hands of who you trust. So what exactly does this mean? So if you recall, I want to just point out again that we said three very important concepts. Again, and I encourage you, if you haven't done so, if you don't know, I'm going to list them. And if you don't know them, please go back and listen to the relevant shiur. The first is that Hashem never does anything negative or bad ever. Period. There's no exceptions. The second is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in a sense, cannot, so to speak, actually leave you alone. Hashem cannot do that. Not literally cannot, but he has bound himself to the rules of the world that he created and the way he created it. And among the realities of our world and the way it exists are that HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs this world in an active way. It exists only because in each and every moment he wills it into existence, as we said at length. And therefore, without Hashem directly controlling everything in a intimate, detailed way, nothing would exist, nothing happens. So Hashem cannot, so to speak, leave you to your own devices. That's not something he is, again, quote unquote, capable of. Not literally, but according to the rules that he set up the world with and that he has bound himself to and that he lives by. And concept number three is that your bechira really is a sort of illusion. It's a somewhat of a joke, not really chas v'shalom, but in the gross sense, it's not real. You can choose things, but whether or not they happen has no relevance to whether you choose them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu determines whether or not things actually happen. You are free to make your choices. So those choices only really affect your brain. The what happens in this world is Hashem causing what you choose in your brain to come to fruition. That's him. Again, that's him actively willing it, right? So like we said, if a person chooses to eat a cheeseburger, it is HaKadosh Baruch Hu who in fact takes the cheeseburger, puts it in his mouth, causes his teeth to chomp, 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 causes him to experience that taste, that delicious treif taste of the cheese and the meat mixing together, and that burst of flavor. That's all Hashem. Hashem is doing that. That pleasure you experience, that's Hashem. That's not you. You only chose to do the Avera. Everything else that happened is HaKadosh Baruch Hu causing it to happen, and your experience perhaps is real, and that Hashem wants you to experience it so that it can affect your thinking and influence you in your decision making. But in the physical world, all the things that are happening in the physical world, those are all Hashem doing it. Okay. Now that we've gone through that, so let's examine these words, and I think that now we can try and explain them. So, mi שבטח bezulas Hashem meser elokim hashkachasam cholov meniach biyad mi שבטח עליו. What does that mean? We know that as a parent, it's very important to raise your children with a sense of self-importance. They have to think that their choices are real. If we want them to be healthy, right? So, if we see our child and the child can play with, a little Einstein math toy set or a truck, right? And if he plays with the little Einstein math toy set, there's some puzzle. I don't know if there's real value. Who knows? I'm not advertising for anyone. The point is, maybe that's educational and beneficial. And the truck, vroom, brr, brr, okay, that does nothing. So do you think as a parent, the right thing to do is every time you see your child go for the truck that he really wants to play with because it's red and it's shiny and it looks cool, smack his hand and be like, no, play with the little Einstein set. No, of course not. That would raise a very unhealthy child. Very, very unhealthy child. We want our child to feel important. We want our children to feel that they have real value and that their choices have real value. If a child grows up thinking his choices don't have real value, they don't. His life is going to be more like robotic, like monkey see, monkey do. Now, again, the opposite extreme is also bad. If he feels that there's no limits, no boundaries, then he won't understand how to respect limits and boundaries, and he won't feel comfortable being constrained. So everything has to be balanced. But we certainly have to raise our children to have a sense of self-importance and self-esteem. Well, the model that Hashem created the world with, we know that Hashem created this world with sort of infinitely concentric circles of reality that are all supposed to reflect the deeper, reality of Him. In a sense, that is exactly what Hashem does as well, right? That's why He created the parenting model that way, which is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to feel important. Hashem wants us to feel that our decisions matter, right? We sort of discussed this and touched on it in the previous video where I said that if you choose to eat a cheeseburger and Hashem would just make your hand not operate, so then you would know that Hashem runs the world, there would be no challenge. But in addition, you wouldn't feel that your choices had any importance. That wouldn't be Bechira. Bechira can only exist as a function of you believing in your choice, right? So when Hashem allows your Bechira to come to fruition, that's the greatest chesed ever, because it allows you to actually have Bechira. Otherwise, you wouldn't have any. In light of that, let's examine these words. Umi שבטח בזולת Hashem. One who puts his trust in something that is not Hashem. Is Hashem forcing you to do that? No. That's your choice. You freely can choose, that is what Hashem allows you to do, where to place your trust. So if you say, I am going to trust in the mechanics or the engineers that designed my car's engine, that is a choice. Now, imagine if HaKadosh Baruch Hu would say, well, that's nice that you trust them, but they don't have any shaykhs. Like, reality only exists because I will it to. So whatever happens next, it will be obvious that it is coming from me. That would not be Hashem respecting your choice. That would be you having an obvious reality of my choices don't matter. Only what Hashem chooses matters. And therefore, I might as well just choose what Hashem wants anyway. So do you know what Hashem does? Hashem says, I will respect your choice. I have created a world where it appears that things run a certain way, that there are natural laws that human beings can measure with their tools, that there are physics, and there is a math, and it all works, right? And I am allowing you to choose to accept that as real and believe in it. And if you make that choice, I will cause that to be true. By what? By doing what? By meser elokim hashkachasai me'alav. By removing from your reality the obvious individuality of the world in relation to you. In truth, this world and you could have a very individualized relationship where you totally rely on me, Hashem, and I manipulate reality as you want and as you feel comfortable with, as I could do. It's easy. It doesn't require any energy. But if you say, Hashem, that's not what I want. I want to live in the reality where this world appears to be real and where I am affected by its laws because either that's more comfortable or it's easier, or I just don't have the willpower to give up my self-control to whatever the reasons are for my cheshbon. I'm saying, Hashem, this fake world that you've created, I desire to live by it. So Hashem says, no problem. Remember, Hashem is deeply committed to you having free choice in a total and real way, right? So Hashem says, no problem. I will remove myself. That's me doing, that's Hashem doing that. That's not you really having Hashem's hashgacha removed from you. That's Hashem saying, I am going to allow the natural way of the world, which exists because I actively will it to, right? Like we said, gravity is every time you drop something, Hashem actively wills it to move down at a rate consistent with all the other laws of physics and nature that we understand, so that it appears natural. And if you say, Hashem, I want to trust in this, right? I'm not so holy. I do that all the time. I'm sitting here right now looking at a video camera. I do not expect this video camera to stop working. I'm not going to lie. I wish I was a greater tzaddik. I wish, and if I was a greater tzaddik, it wouldn't be that I expected it to stop working, but it would be that I would understand that every single moment that it works, it's Hashem willing it to work. The lens capturing my face, the particles of information being written onto the card, and all of that is just Hashem willing it to happen moment by moment by moment, right? And maybe now that I'm intellectually thinking about it, for this moment, I'm focused on it, and I know it's true. But then when that moment passes, I'm like, oh yeah, of course my video camera runs. The electricity is going up the wire, and there's a lens, and there's a recording mechanism, and there's a microphone, and it picks up the sound, right? Because that's how we are wired. And unless we overcome that, there's sort of this natural inclination. So if I am saying, hey, you know why I'm going to buy this video camera? Because it's very reliable, has great reviews on Amazon. So Hashem says, okay, I cause in this world, through my active will, things to happen in a way that seems natural. If you use better components and better engineers and better design, I will cause the product to be better and work better so that people believe that that is a real thing. So Hashem says, if you choose to put your faith and trust in your boss, in the engineer who created your video camera, in physics, then I will be mesir myself from the equation, as in, I will cause to come to fruition your choice of accepting that those things should control your life. You chose that. I didn't choose that, says Hashem. That's you. Meniach oisoi biad mi שבטח עליו. And I will allow your choice to come to fruition, meaning that it will seem to you as though your boss, the engineer, the mechanic, the car, the job, the weather are all things that actually are affecting your life in a direct way, in a real way, not me. You will wake up and you will say, oh no, I have to run my boat today, but it's raining. I need to go and take people out on a boat ride to make money, but it's raining. Shoot. Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu will say, listen, I run the world. You chose to rely on good weather. You said, I don't want to rely on Hashem. I'm moving to Florida where the weather's always good. I'm opening up a boat tour business. This way I don't need to rely on Hashem, whatever. Again, make up your own story. But the Hashem says, no problem. You choose to rely on that. I will not interfere with your choice in that the same way I created this world and made it look like reality is real. Right? That the physical reality is operating according to its set of laws. If you choose, I will cause that set of laws to affect you in such a way that it does appear that way. Okay? I feel like I'm going, again, I don't want to make these videos shorter, so we'll continue in the next video. We're going to, if this all seems repetitive and obvious and easy for you, you're a greater man than me. This is extraordinarily deep, something I have worked very hard to try and understand myself in a way that I think is consistent with the words of the chovos halevovos and consistent with hashkafic ideas and philosophies that we know are true. I do not think this is an easy thing to understand. I think this is extraordinarily, and it's astonishing. From a human perspective, I think this is an astonishing thing to think about. That Hashem is so deeply committed to the project that He created, Project Earth, Project Planet World, that he acts this way. Right? That even though every moment of existence is being manipulated and coordinated and constructed by Hashem in this active way where nothing can happen unless He specifically wills it to happen at that given moment. And yet, despite that, if you choose to rely on that reality, to actively make that reality the structure of your life, right? Which makes no sense. Hashem says, no problem. I will respect that in order so that you feel that this world is real to you. So that if you and the flip side of that coin, which is what happens if you trust in Hashem, we will get to tomorrow. The video is under 15 minutes. Yes.